I think I'm actually gonna call it for now, because it's like, we got 10 minutes on the clock, so we're not gonna finish it tonight anyways. What I do plan on doing though is I plan on playing this tomorrow. I think I'm just gonna spend probably like the next like 10 minutes like chatting up about how I feel about everything so far.
New tips are.
So I think that's what I'll do for now. So anyways, yeah. I do not think this is that bad of a game. It's getting a lot more flack than what I think it deserves. If I was to... I think as like a backer, I could understand like the frustration with it, and I think it would kind of bitter the final product, it would sour a bit, but like I think it's like just a standalone game. It needs polish, it has rough patches, and it definitely needs like what's the word? It needs to be optimized. Like there's issues that strike me as like just issues that probably stem from being on a bajillion platforms. I don't think it's actually that bad though. Like the core game itself feels pretty good. There's a little bit of I guess I feel like, let me see, out of the stages, I feel like the oil platform felt a little bit laggy in spots. Waterworks also kind of did. I feel like they should consider lightening up the water sections a little bit, adding a bit more like contrast, because when you're underwater, it's really washed out looking, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of dark in general. I thought the mid-boss in that stage was really fun. I thought that was pretty cute. I think would be actually quite hard to perfect this stage because of that mid-boss, but yeah, you get used to it. As far as the power plant goes, power plant felt fine. That felt like a pretty reasonable stage as a whole. The mine was a little bit troublesome. There's a few sets of spikes. I'd say personally, in the player's interest, I would have moved them like just a little bit, because it's easy to accidentally clip your head on them. Particularly if you don't know about ledge grabbing and just pressing up to pull yourself up, because if a lot of players' instincts would be you've grabbed onto a ledge, you'll press the jump button to just hop up onto the ledge, which will cause you just to jump into the spikes. That was the only thing I really noticed in that stage that stuck out to me. Probably one of the harder stages in the game though, just by, I think, nature of it. Military base was pretty reasonable, nothing too major with it. The radio tower felt a hair too long to me, but I also did it like three times back to back. So the second time was just sort of like, I only went halfway and then stopped. It seemed like I had some camera issues in the mine. Yeah, there was one spot which has, actually there's two spots in it that have blind falls, which they could easily fix that. That's not really a big issue, but I imagine they probably won't fix it. There's been blind jumps in Mega Man games before, or like blind falls before. It felt about on par with some of the other Mega Man games. Like, it's there, you learn it, and you just get used to the fact that it's there, and then it's not really a big problem. But yeah, definitely, there's blind spots in it. Radio Tower, overall, A-okay. That stage feels very, very reminiscent of Gunvolt, in particular. Kind of interesting. Highway, I love the idea of it, but I find it very, this is like the worst stage in the game for like being optimized, I think, because like it lags a lot in this stage, and what I notice in this game is when it lags, like, you will keep moving for quite a little bit. Like, it's enough, like, the car's width, like half that width, you'll walk that distance just in lag, which isn't good. I only felt it in the highway stage, and I'm running the game on low settings, so it shouldn't have any lag, really, but the stage just feels slow, particularly the first half. The first half, I feel like they need to like change like the lighting in the background or something to add more of a visual difference between the foreground and the background. And I think the stage just needs work in general. That was probably the worst stage from like for like running well. As an idea, I think it's neat though. I think it's a neat idea. The boss was very easy though. That would be actually one of the easier stages to start on, I think. When I was running the game on higher settings, I found it very laggy in the water stage, but it wasn't so bad when I switched it down to like medium and low. Alright, Jarrett. I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Oil platform, so-so. I think that was the one that I finally dropped it down to like low settings, and it wasn't so bad. Capitol building, interesting concept. I like the boss a lot. I think the boss is actually really neat. The stage itself, I like the idea of it, but I feel like the execution, I feel like if each of the sections was a little bit shorter, it might have been a little bit tighter. And these are the 2 stages we'll probably be doing tomorrow night. So far, I don't know. I think the game is better than what people are giving it credit for when it comes down to it. I'm not saying it's a spectacular game, but I think with a little polish, this game probably would have been like scoring much higher when it comes to like reviews. Like, I could see this with the right amount of polish, and if it had no like issues as far as optimization and stuff goes, it would have, I think, you know, I think it could have been like a typical like 7, 8. I think it's really, when it comes down to it, it's the glitchiness of spots. Yeah, it's just a little bit vanilla. Honestly, like, I like the character designs. I like a lot of the ideas going into it. It just feels like in execution, it's a little bit lackluster, which, you know, that does happen with games. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad game, but like I said, I do think people that, you know, look at that 4 million and then probably feel a bit burned by it. But it's one of those things. I think the biggest part of it really comes down to they decided to put it on too many platforms for how much money they had, and I think probably the online components probably really pulled down the whole experience, or well, pulled down the whole like it probably drained a lot of money. Like, I feel this would probably be interpreted wrong, but I don't mean it this way. But I feel like if this was like a Vita game, or even like way back a PSP game, like it would have probably been hit out of the park. Like this, I feel like at its core, like the ideas and stuff are good. It's just a bit lackluster in aspects. If you give it a score, what would I give it? I feel like right now, where I'm at in the game, it's like a 7.5. It's very average. It's not like, you know, it's not blowing open the doors with what it's doing, but I feel like it's a very, there's a lot of charm to the game, I guess is what it comes down to. I like the fact that the bosses are well thought out, and they each have their own thought out characters. They're all voiced, which is nice. The voice work isn't spectacular in the game, but it's like alright. It's like, it's your typical like Capcom level voice acting, really. There's some big names doing voices though. It's not all like some of the voices are really good, but it's, you know, pretty standard, I think. Pretty standard fare. But yeah, it seems alright. Challenge solo.
The VR training program I devised. Care to try it?
Yes. Let's see. I'm curious. yeah, exactly. That's like the lowest bar you can set, Steve, but most definitely better voice acting than Kessler's Shikigami. Oh my goodness. So what do we have for challenge stuff? So we have online race battle. Interesting. I feel like that'd be really tough. Challenge missions. I'll do one challenge mission just because I'm curious what they're like. Okay, they're like VR landscape world thing. Oh, I have no abilities. I just straight up run. Oh, that increases my movement speed. I never even noticed that. Ow. This seems pretty straightforward so far. I wouldn't say this is much of a challenge. Ooh. I just had to say it, didn't I? Well. Well, pretty average, I think.
The VR training program I devised. Care to try it?
What should we tackle next?
Yeah, I'd have to listen to the Japanese voices to see what's what, I guess. I feel like, you know, it's one of those things that, like, this is... I can see playing it now, like, some of the intention of the fact that they wanted to do, like, a cartoon series for it. I don't think... I don't think the cartoon series was a good idea, especially during the Kickstarter. I think that was very, very bad, but a bad move from Inafune, but I can see why he would think it through in that direction, because it's very like, the characters have a lot of character to them. I could see it lending itself well to a cartoon, but yeah, there's a lot of missteps, I think, with the Kickstarter. I think that's what it really boils down to, and a lot of people are bitter by it. And it's something, like I said before, like, I can understand people completely, you know, not being into it, but because, you know, after watching the game for 3 years in development, there's a lot of baggage that comes with that, and it's, you know, upsetting if it doesn't, you know, turn out how you had hoped or expected. Like I've said before, I have a little bit of distance from the game, so it doesn't bother me that much. I'm interested in it. Like, I want to see this game do good, because who doesn't want to see, like, the spiritual successor to Mega Man do well? I mean, that's just natural. I think, you know, it's completely normal for anyone who's a Mega Man fan. I don't think like Pokemon cartoon is like a bad thing. Like, I don't think it was a bad move, smart move for Pokemon. I don't think it's even bad for Yokai Watch. I've watched a few episodes of Yokai Watch. It's all right. It's not spectacular, but it has moments where it's entertaining. I like the little red cat. I forget what his name is. Oh, I could totally remember if I just thought harder on it. I'm actually quite curious to look into whenever they get around to localizing one of the later Yokai Watch games. I think they announced one at E3, but I skipped the first one because I played the demo and it just wasn't appealing to me. But I feel like the later ones, if it had multiplayer, that'd be kind of cool. Online playing stuff, I think that would be nice. And I've heard that the later ones are just better games. But anyways, so I suppose I should probably wrap it up. As far as Mighty No.9 goes, I don't think it's as bad as what people are, like, you know, I don't think it's as bad as what people think it really is. There we go. Jabanya. Like I said, I think it just boils down to some people are going to be upset with it. It's not going to meet their expectations. Especially when you're really excited for it, and if you watched it early on and all the concept art, and you had really built up expectations for it. Personally, I like what I've played so far. Like I said, I feel like it's a completely average game right now. It's not horrible. There's only been a few things that I consider real missteps as far as game design goes. The biggest issue it has is it lacks polish. The Kickstarter and just like general PR mishandling is really bad. I think some of the PR handling of it is more damaging to the game than what the actual game is. Some issues I think could probably be fixed up, you know, in the near future with some patches. And it probably won't take long. I heard the Wii U version already has one patch that arrived like today or something, so I don't think it's too far out there to say that the game might be more optimized and play a little bit better in the near future. But anyways, I'm just gonna hop back to the title screen. So, yeah, I think it's alright. I will definitely be playing it tomorrow night, and hopefully we will beat it tomorrow night. And then I will probably do some of the extra content in the game, like probably just achievement hunting and the challenge mode and stuff. But yeah, overall I had fun. So yeah, I want to thank Mirumu for giving me keys for it. I really appreciate that. It was very cool of you. So, you know, otherwise I wouldn't have got to check out the game, and given the game has had so much flack around it, it might actually have been a while before I got to see it. As a Mega Man fan, I wouldn't say it's a letdown, personally. I like the fact that the characters are so well realized. To me, that kind of hits me in a soft spot, because I felt like that was always the thing with like Mega Man, was they needed to like inject as much character into the bosses as they could, because the bosses they're so tied to like the overall feel of the game. Mega Man Powered Up, I think, realized that, and they really gave bosses a lot of character in that game. And I feel like this is an extension of that game in a lot of ways. I do feel like, just like, if you go in expecting something that's exactly like Mega Man, it is mechanically different than Mega Man, and there is, like, things to, like, mentally work around, particularly how your bullets work. I personally found not having a charge shot really weird, and also not being able to wall jump was kind of jarring. I had no idea there was no wall jump. I feel like what they do give you with the ledge grabs are utilized in kind of a smart way, so it kind of makes up for that. So, and it kind of, I mean, the way they put the ledge grabs sometimes basically lets you wall jump. It's kind of an interesting workaround of giving you the ability to wall jump when you need it, basically. But no, overall, I think it's alright. I think it's an okay game. It might take a patch or two to smooth it out, but it's okay in my books. I wouldn't go in just with... It's like, keep your expectations tempered, I think, when you go in. That's the main thing. But anyways, I better wrap stuff up, so thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me tonight as I checked out Mighty No.9. And yeah, we will be playing it tomorrow for sure, so hopefully I'll catch everyone then. So, see you later, guys, and have a good night.